What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today I want to discuss just where it is that unions get their power. What is it that causes a union to be a strong union? What does it even mean? I can give you historical context and reference today's environment, and we can kind of see what it means to have a strong union. Now, when you look back in history, in the early labor movement, it took working people banding together to fight back against bosses that were constantly pushing them down and keeping them below a level. We would call that under boot. It took them finding common ground and supporting each other. And when I say them, I'm saying the workers. Today we would call them the rank and file, the working class. The working people had to find commonality and decide, okay, we have to fight for this. Now, the power of those fights is what created unions in the first place. And where unions got their strength from back then was a rank and file that believed in each other and believed that they were fighting for something to better their lives, and they bought into it, and they all participated. They all went and organized and acted in harmony towards a goal. Strikes, all kinds of stuff, activities to really advance the cause. Okay, I'm talking about historical context. Then you have the pinnacle, right? It's when we got the government to basically be forced to create an agreement between the bosses and the working people, because the working people were fed up and were just about ready to remake work in America and what it looks like to work. And the government and the bosses saw this and were like, holy crap, if we don't do something, they're going to flip over the whole system, and America's going to change from this day forward. And so a compromise was reached, and that's the National Labor Relations Act. After the passage of that act, union membership exploded. A third of work in America was unionized work. You got the middle class created. All of this comes from history, right? We can look this up. So traditionally, you can see that unions got their strength from member participation, members buying into the idea of being in a union and what that even meant. So real quick, what does it even mean to be in a union? It means that you're in an organization which negotiates collectively for a better wage, working conditions, and standard of life. You're in an organization that believes that they deserve a fair part of the profits they create. An organization that believes that they stand together, they're more powerful and able to negotiate higher wages. They got to stand together, though. That's what a union is, right? And so where do unions garner their strength? It has to do with member participation and member buy-in. That's the super juice. That's the nitrous. That's the nuclear fission. That's the big power when the members buy in. Participation in your union is one way of showing that you're buying in or that you're interested in your union and what it's about and what it's doing and how it moves. Participation. That goes beyond just going to union meetings. Although union meetings are important, that's where business is discussed. That's where ideas come from. Sometimes. So union meetings are important, but the movement itself, the concept itself of advancing a working class agenda, an idea that higher wages are needed, this type of stuff, that's what unions fight for, and we do it together collectively. So we get our strength from standing together in a common purpose and common cause. That's the strength and the super juice of unions. And so, what is the difference between a strong union and a weak union? A strong union has strong member participation and advocacy and buy-in. The members know they're in a union. They stand up for it. They fight for the contract on the job sites. They don't let conditions decrease. They're active in the different events that the union's trying to do to grow. All of this stuff. That's what a strong union looks like. The weaker ones have a membership that is very apathetic, a membership that doesn't really participate, doesn't really know what's going on any given day about their organization or even what is trying to be accomplished. All they know is they go to work and they go home. If we want to have a strong union, no matter what part of the country you're in, no matter what zip code, if you want to have a strong union, advocate and push to organize the rank and file, to get that buy-in, to understand solidarity, to understand what it is we're fighting for. Because as you increase the number of participation, as you increase the number of involvement, a byproduct of that is a union that fights for that. Because they have to. That's the pressure that builds in the pipe. And if your union isn't fighting for you, that pressure, something's going to rise out of that, and it's going to change. It's going to eventually fight for you, but it starts at you got to build the pressure in the pot first. You know what I mean? The rank and file has got to buy in. That's why this election is so important. That's why your involvement in this election is so important. Buy-in, rank and file participation. It's the super juice. We traditionally have about 10% voter participation in any given election, roughly. That's anemic, and it indicates a membership that doesn't really care about what way it goes. We have to build this rank and file. We have to participate. We have to be involved. We have to take ownership because this is our union. And so I encourage you, let's up this number. Let's get to 50% of the membership. Let's get to 80% of the membership participating. And whatever the outcome of the election is, with that kind of participation, you've supercharged whatever the administration is that comes in. My name's Eric, union-minded Pacheco. I'm running for president of Local 26. I'm running on a 10-point plan. I'll leave my link for the plan in the description box. If you like the plan, by all means, do not be afraid to vote for me for president. Let's bring the spirit of the rank and file into the hall. You guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy your week. Remember that the fight's not left and right. It's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one teach one, get out there and reach one. And remember, there can be no union without you and I front and center. Otherwise, what's the point? Peace.